All right, so I get this question asked a lot, so I'm gonna just tell y'all. This is like, you want to know how to throw a comedy show? I'm gonna put it all out there for you. It's how to throw a comedy show. First of all, you'll go for budget. All right, so, and I'm not talking about no big arenas or anything like that. I'm talking about like the local lounges or maybe comedy clubs or, you know what I mean, bars or something to that nature, like little restaurants. You know, I'm talking about that. $1,000 will get you a great comedy show, and that's all the comedians plus the host. It'll get you a great comedy show. Now, if you're thinking something a little cheaper along the lines of 800, you could probably push that. You know what I'm saying? If you're going down by like the 500s to lower, you're gonna have a horrible comedy show. So you can get somebody to say a comedian to go up there and everybody stare at them all day. But you know, you want a great comedy show. Great comedy show where everybody like, oh, I'm coming back. $1,000 is a good budget. But you can get away with about 800 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So maybe, but I'm giving you the range of what's going on. So if you're feeling like, oh man, I wanted to let people in free, well then you might have to work something out with the bar, the restaurant, or whatever the case, where they're paying you for people's drinks, etc. Or if they give you a percentage of everything that people are buying, and or they give you got to sell tickets and you get the door. You know what I mean? Something like that. So that's, know your budget. You know what I mean? That'll help you get some great local comedians. We're not talking about flying nobody out. Anything to that nature. No Instagram comedians. Great local comedians. Okay? At that point, just know your budget. $1,000 is great. Alright? Next, you want to talk about the host. That's what you want. You want a great host, because the host really is the heartbeat of your show. He makes sure everything is great. You know what I mean? From people when they coming in, just the crowd is good. Everybody's having a good time. He deals with everything as far as dealing with the comedy portion and the entertainment portion, making sure the audience is great, the DJ is good, doing what he need to be doing, etc., etc. Making sure everything is set up perfect for the audience and the comedian. Plus the fact that if a comedian does bad, let's say a comedian bomb, it's the host's job to bring the audience back up and like kind of get them back in the groove, get them having a good time again, being funny, being, you know, active, etc. And then, you know, going on to the next comedian. You also want to have a host that doesn't stay up there longer than when he needs to be staying up there. Like the host knows that it's not all about the host. It's not his show. You understand what I'm saying? He's not taking up tons of time between comedians, especially if he has a comedian that's already done well. You really don't need to do nothing but go in from the next one comedian to the next one, because the energy is already there. You know what I'm saying? So he needs to understand that part. And where the comedians are also comfortable with the fact that, good, I got a good crowd. You got the crowd going. I got a great host. All I got to do is go up there and do my job. They don't have to rehost the room. They don't have to, you know, deal with the people, the fact that other people long-winded or, you know, you're tired. Anything to that nature. The flow of the show, the flow of the club, everything, the flow of the audience, the flow of everything is on the host. And having a great host is very important so you can have a great show, and make everything happen accordingly. All right? So the host is important. Next is the comedians. Of course, the comedians, most of the time, the host knows all the comedians. You got a good host, he'll help you pick the right comedians, right? It's important that you pick, you know, comedians that's good for your crowd. You need to know your crowd. You can't just have anybody in this place. Your crowd may be hypothetically a religious crowd, and there's no cursing. And all these comedians do that you pick all curse. They don't have any clean comedy. You understand what I'm saying? Something to that nature. Or your crowd is a little bit ghetto, a little bit ratchet, or it's mainly Caucasian. Whatever it is that your crowd is, you have to cater to your crowd. You should know that crowd and pick comedians according to that crowd, right? So a good host, like for me, like I host a lot, I know that certain comedians aren't good for a certain room, so I wouldn't book them. I'm not saying that they're not funny. They're very funny. But this crowd won't relate. This type of area, when these people won't relate to this type of comedy, and it does a disservice for the comedians and the audience, because the comedian feels like, you know, they're not getting comedy groove going, and then the audience is like looking at you like a deer in the headlights. So it's kind of like getting the right team together. And again, the host can help with that. But you want to pick a host and or somebody that's not clicked up, right? Even if you ask another comedian to do it, like, hey, could you help me get some more comedians? If you're not one of those people that goes out and get them, you want it, because a lot of these comedians stick with cliques, and they become clicked up, and they only deal with these people because they like them. They don't even be necessarily funny, or there's not the right type of audience for them, but they don't even care, right? Because they're just trying to help them get money. And you want somebody that's very neutral, right? You know, like, I'm neutral. Like, I don't care. I don't have any personal vendettas against anybody. But even if I did, that doesn't mean, like, if you said you wanted this person, I wouldn't say, nah, I don't get him. I would say, all right, cool. But this person goes with this person and this person. And you want to book comedians from funny to funniest. You want to put them in that order. You need to know who's funny and to the funniest and make it make sense. You don't put the funniest person first and everybody else is horrible. Okay, so you got to have the right comedians for your crowd, and you want to put the comedians in order. And, you know, if you're not one of those people, once again, that go out to go look at the comedians, you got to find somebody that you can trust that's going to help you get, you know, your crowd going to have a good show with those comedians, get the funny comedians. All right, so comedians. And you got venue. Venue is very important. Venue, you know, you want to pick a venue that's conducive to comedy. You know, you want to pick a venue where they know not only that they're coming to see comedy, where they're able to see it. Again, the host to help you with this as well. You want to pick like a place that everybody's kind of facing the crowd, the comedians, the mic, that's sufficient enough. Like, you don't want to have one of these little bars where they're walking back and forth, so people can't see you. You know what I mean? You going through tables, just walking like and trying to figure this person can't see your ear, so they trying to get over here. It's just a bunch of nonsense. The comedians should be centered, face a certain way where everybody can see them. Not only that, you want to pick a place where they know that there's comedy happening. Sometimes people just picking these places, it's throwing a comedy show that day, and some people know there's comedy, some people don't, and so now there's people by the bar that's not here to see the show. They're just loud as they want to be. You got to keep them quiet, and it's taken away from the show. The comedians like that was going. It's distracting for the audience. It's distracting for the comedians, and all that other nonsense. You want to have good sound system, great lighting, a spotlight that goes on to the comedians. Good mic check, good sound. A good place to actually be doing comedy. Some people are so desperate that they do comedy in like a garage or something. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Or places, it's just a lot of dreadful places that people do comedy at just to throw a comedy show, which they understand they take away from the audience and they take away from the comedians as far as doing their greatest job. So a venue is important. Preferably a stage. Preferably, you know, a comedy conducive place where seatings are facing toward that stage, people can see you, etc., and they can hear you, and everything as far as setting is concerned is proper and properly done. Okay, so venue is important as well. To tag team or venue, another part of venue is you want to make sure that everybody eats and drinks, or are eating and drinking, and whatever it is that you want to do, make sure the venue is working as fast and as hard to get the food out, because most of the time people are coming hungry, thirsty, etc., and to come see a show, and if people are not getting their food or whatever, and their stomachs are growling, nobody's paying attention to the show. Okay, those people they're disgruntled. And I get it. I came here, I didn't eat all day, I had a long day at work, blah, blah, blah. I need my food, I need my drink, etc., etc. I don't, as far as the food is being good or whatever, it is what it is with that. It's not a high-end restaurant. But as long as you got some chicken and french fries or something, fish and chips, whatever the case, and they got liquor going, and they're getting their order out fast, then that's what's important, because they came to see a comedy show. They come to a restaurant, they got some comedy show places that actually is just for comedy. They just serve popcorn and drinks, and that's what you're getting. But the comedians and everything is set up, but they get their stuff in a fashionable manner. All right, so yeah. So pretty much that's it, man. It's very simple. It's not complicated to throw a comedy show. You follow these instructions, you'll have a great comedy show. And then you can go from there. You can learn what you need to learn and expand on it, how you need to expand on it, and then go into bigger venues, bigger places, stuff like that. But other than that, you got a great comedy show coming up. If you want me as a comedian or a host to come host your show, you can hit me up. I got you. If you got any questions, you can hit me. I got you. You know, hit the email, hit the DM, hit the instant message, whatever, and then I'll make sure I help you all out in the best way I can. All right? Thanks for watching.